Hi, this is Miss Cindy, and I made a mistake. My intro, I forgot to record. So what I'm going to do today is I need a extra tissue box in one of the rooms. And this is a wood tissue box that I purchased from Michael. And I've done acrylic pours, I've done acrylic paintings, I decoupaged, I put little miniature scenes on tissue boxes, but I never actually did an acrylic pour for a whole box and then resin it. So that's what this project's going to be. And I do apologize. My beginning video, I'm just sitting here talking and forgot to record it. So you didn't see me. All I did was I took some acrylic paint and painted this wood box. And then I taped the inside, and then I'm going to come down and tape the bottom. My only concern with not only doing the pour, but also resining it is the circle right here where the tissue comes out. And that's only because I usually just stain the inside. So that's why I taped all of the inside, because all I want to do is stain that. I don't want any paint to come through on the inside. If it does, if for some reason it does come in, then I will paint it. But for the most part, I normally just stain it. So I just put a little contraption up here to see if I could hold the paint. And then when I do the resin, I'm just going to be very careful, try not to get too much resin in here. And then before that resin dries really hard, I may have to take a razor blade and cut this out. So I've never done a complete pour on a whole box and resin. And I do have concerns, but I figure I'll go ahead and try it. And my concerns are these sharp corners. When that resin dries, and if you got a sharp corner, it sticks up. So I may have to sand it down. But for the most part, that's what I'm going to do. Wooden tissue box, going to do an acrylic pour on it. I'm going to try to resin it, and we're going to see if it works. So I had a couple of days. I took a break to try to really think this box through, because I have such a concern with the sharp edges, and I do know how resin dries on sharp edges, and I don't want to have to resin this, get it complete, and then have to sand down all the edges. So I decided to try to sand the edges now. So when I put the resin on, it would be smoother, it would be rounded, as opposed to the sharp corners and having to resin it then. Because when I put the resin on, my fingers are going to be on it, I could smooth it down. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see here where I've taken some sandpaper and just along here, just to make this a little bit smoother. And then on the ends, a little bit rounded. Because when that resin goes on there, it will come to a point on the ends and it'll be sharp. So that's what I'm doing now. I probably will sand it down just a little bit more and then wipe it off real good, and I'll be ready to go ahead and put my pour on it. The other thing I'm going to do is this also I had a concern about the top. This is why I've never done a tissue box. So I think I'm going to have to build a dam around the top. I think what I have here will work, but if I build a dam, and I will probably use some foil instead of a flexible plexiglass and glue it on there. I may just use a foil and stick the foil in here, and then I should be able to do the pour and the resin, and without anything going in the center or without me having too much cleanup afterwards. So we will see. The other thing that I had to think about was this bottom part. And that's only because since I've never done a pour before, if I were just doing acrylic paint, I would just paint this. But I'm going to do this pour, and I'm going to have it sitting like this, and I'm hoping the different colors will fall down on this little lip, the part that pulls out. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, I'll just go back and pour it. But I figured with the drips, some of that should come down here. I know it's going to go on the inside, which is why I taped it. But if I can get just enough down here so it matches the box and I don't have to paint it solid or a different color, that'll work. So like I said, it's been 2 days trying to figure this out because I don't want to go through all of this and then it doesn't work. And the resin is what really had me concerned, not the paint, the resin. So I will be back once I get this ready to do the pour, and I'll show you the pour. Well, here's my little contraption that I came up with. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to see. This is the foil, aluminum foil tape that I put around the top. So hopefully it does not go on the inside, and if it works, it should also work with the resin. Oh, and that's just, once I do the pour, it has to drip, and I don't want to stick to the bottom, so I got it sitting on this tumbler, which I taped up. And then over here, these are just some blocks that I used to do for my canvases. I am going to use the split cup pour. All my paint, if you can see it, all my paint is already in there. It's divided because this should come out all at the same time, but different colors at the same time. So if I'm using this cup, I should be able to just do this top lid and get all of the colors in it. So anyway, I'm getting ready to pour. Don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna go for it because I spent enough time trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. Okay, now I'm just going to stop for a second and get over here on this lid. And I don't care if it pours down the side. I just want it to match the rest of it. Okay, and then we're back to this. I put a lot of Floetrol in the paint. Not so much on the, I didn't put any on the box. It just has an acrylic. Okay, so. Okay, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just tapping it. Yeah, I'm not looking for any particular design at this point. I just want to get it covered. Yeah, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and it is dripping down nicely. Yeah. All of that tape on the inside definitely paid off. Okay, so let's lay it right back on here. Okay. I think I've gotten all the sides. I'm going to use my stick here, and I'm going to constantly keep wiping the drips. Okay, and naturally, let's see. This has, I'm going to take a little bit of this because this doesn't have as much as the silver in it. And by the way, all I used was silver metallic, black, white, beige, and gold metallic. Okay. It looks like I got it around the whole box. I'm gonna have to come up and tap a little bit more on that top part. But for the most part, let's let it dry. Oops. Let's let it dry and see what happens. Okay. For the moment of truth, the tissue box is dried. I just mixed 1.5 ounces of resin. I don't think I'm going to need that much because I'm actually going to like wipe it down. So I don't want to waste it. I have my blowtorch. This is the resin I'm using. I'm just using the Amazing Clear Cast. And then in the back are my risers, my bed risers. I use those to prop on the side so I can cover the top so no dust or anything gets in it. So I've been mixing this for about 3 minutes now. I think this is ready to go, so we're just going to go ahead and pour this resin on and see if it works. The little foil up top, it held out really good. I just don't know what it's going to do with this resin. And I hope I can get it off of there. But for the most part, it held. Yeah, I'm not worried too much about, I just want to make sure I have enough. But I'm going to actually take my hands and rub all the sides down once I get the resin on. Oops, glove got stuck to the tape. When you're rubbing like this, you got to make sure you don't miss any spots. That's real easy to do. I think 1.5 ounces is maybe about right for this. I didn't have a measurement for this size box, but I think this will do it. If this was just a canvas and laying flat, I probably would need more. Okay, I think I got it all covered. Okay. Once again, get my little handy stick. Try to get the drips off of the bottoms. And then I'm going to use my blowtorch . Doesn't look like there's many air bubbles, but you never know until it shows up. Okay, so we're going to let this dry. I'm going to go ahead and get my sides, put up the bed risers on the sides so that it can dry without getting any dust or anything on it. And I will come back once it dries and let's see if this works. We're on the final stage of this tissue box. And yes, looks like it can be done. After I resined it, I waited about 4 or 5 hours where it hadn't actually cured. And I went ahead and took my razor blade and I cut this part out. A little bit of tape is still on there. I'm going to have to sand this down. And then I think I'm going to sand it down and I'm just going to paint it with some silver acrylic paint. And then I'm going to stain the inside after I clean that up. I got a little bit of paint there. So this will work. It's just touch-ups now. I guess that dam did work because this is not sharp at all. And oh my gosh, my edges are not bad either. Yeah, the edges that worked. The edges aren't bad. So I'm just going to get in here, sand this down, paint it, stain the inside, and I'll let you see the finished product. Well, this project is finally finished. I stained the inside. Here's the top. And just to show you what it looks like all the way around. Got my tissues in there. So I guess the answer to this question is yes, you can do acrylic pour and resin a tissue box. This was not easy. First of all, it took me 2 days to just think about how I was going to do it. But it did come out pretty good. My sides are nice and smooth. The top, I sanded that down and I got what tape was on there removed and I painted it with the acrylic paint. So here's another suggestion, something that you may want to try to do. Have a great day. Thank you.